Hello, welcome to JamboFANTV. I'm in the middle of decorating, that's why it looks like it does at the back. I'm not in any of those flats in train spotting. I'm halfway through it. Been a bit rough, that's why we're a bit late on. Been dying of man flu. Been unbelievable. Any guys out there that have got flu at the moment, I take my hat off to you. Gordon, I saw the light once or twice and I didn't walk towards it. I managed to survive it. How are you, Gordon? You okay?
I'm fine, yeah. I've just recovered for a 2-day hangover, so I'm all right now.
So you so yours was self-inflicted.
Indeed, it was, yeah, very much so.
Oh, I couldn't show any sympathy to you. I've been dying, man. I tell you, I've been dying. Gordon, I thought we'd have a look at Scotland national team, which is probably old out now, but we've got our opinions on it. Have a look at the Hearts men's and women's, and then sort of finish off with the youngsters, which we'll probably pick up with in the Hearts review anyway. So looking at the Scotland situation at the moment, oh man. I always felt like, you have to forgive me for this, God, I always felt like the England game was always going to come back and bite you when you needed them points. But according to Gordon Strachan, it's simply down to genetics. You're a very small nation, so you'll until you import stronger genes, you're not going to win anything. What do you think to that? Crazy.
Yeah, I think we're too fat a nation, probably. But no, it was a ridiculous comment, and especially the line he used after it was the only team that are smaller than us is Spain. Come on, Gordon, obviously size isn't that important if Spain are the smallest side in the world.
I know, it's crazy, isn't it? I mean, recently you got Iceland, what, the 300,000 population, doing okay. Yeah, it was just something I just thought, oh, come on, there's many things you could have said in front of the camera, but that was just crazy. It just came to a fizzle. I was actually thinking that it might happen, but that last game was just too much pressure. Chasing a game, and it just fell apart. The wheels came off.
Yeah, I disagree that it was the England game that haunted us. It was obviously, to me, it was the Lithuania game at the start that haunted us. The team we picked that day, I think everybody thought it was absolutely horrific, and that's been shown by the fact that the team at the end had like 10 different players for what started their campaign. And I mean, I've been trying to defend a lot over the last few days. The Mulgrew-Berra partnership has taken a bit of stick, saying that we're really struggling for centre halves. And to me, that's no area of the park that's caused concern. To me, that's strengthened big time since the start. I mean, Martin and Hanley were the two players that started the campaign. Now, that's a bomb-scare partnership. I actually think Berra and Mulgrew struck up quite a good partnership. Arguably, we've lost a couple of goals to crosses. Obviously, the Harry Kane one being probably the biggest one. But we looked a lot. We restricted England to few chances. Those 2 goals last week were set pieces. They were absolute shockers. Maybe you could argue the central defence has got a bit to do about a bit of blame for that. But to me, it was Darren Fletcher. Darren Fletcher's the game he played, I think it was earlier in the season against Chelsea, where he set up 2 of the Chelsea goals against Stoke, and then I think there and then I would have said, no, Darren Fletcher's not playing for Scotland again. His form's absolutely totally out the window, and it's he put in a big effort against Slovakia, but it wasn't spectacular, and he's cost us the first goal against Slovenia, and I think his time's up. To tell the truth.
Yeah, well, definitely. I mean, I put some comments on, like what do I know? But I put some comments on. I mean, I seem to be harping on at the moment about youth all the time, but just to be able to see some sort of movement through clubs investing, but also in the national team investing, and fans understanding that, you know, there's going to be a few friendlies coming up, and you've got opportunities there to put people into situations with a bit of pressure and see how they cope, rather than, like you said, Fletcher. I mean, he's had his day. Everyone knew it. Even his ex-club knew that he'd had his day. And rather than keep putting them in and trying to, fair enough, you've got some experience there, but giving people opportunities and understanding, you know, maybe for the next 2 or 3 years, it's, you know, it's not going to be fantastic, but we're building something, and we'll build something that's going to have some kind of foundation to it. What do you think about that?
Yeah, absolutely. We missed Brown and Armstrong, who, I mean, Brown's obviously no a youngster, but Armstrong's sort of just coming through. What is he, 25, 26? And that's actually quite young for a Scottish international. The way we don't blood youngsters like other countries for some reason. And for me, last week was crying out for McGinn or McGregor or even both to be on the park. As much as I'm a Hearts fan, and one's a Hibs player, one's a Celtic player, so there's absolutely no love lost for me. But I would have definitely preferred to have seen them on the park than what was on the park at the end. I thought, I've got to be honest with you and say, I now do not have a clue what the hype about this Matt Phillips was. He was absolutely hopeless as well. I think the midfield was posted missing when they really needed them the most in the Slovenia game.
Definitely. Again, Gordon, from a complete outsider, a fantastic nation, and a nation of football lovers, massive football lovers. You know, you've got kids. When I come up there, something that I don't see that much down here. You've still got kids playing football on streets. You know, kicking balls around rather than playing with bloody PlayStations and what have you. How can that not sort of be developed and nurtured to come through? Why is it not coming through? Why was it coming through in the 70s and 80s, 90s to an extent? And why is it not coming through now? What's that about? Why is the national side struggling?
Oh, it's a great question. I think we decided it's not genetics. So I don't know. The thing is, I've always thought that when I've seen spectacularly skillful youngsters, and you always wonder what happens to them. Does the skill get kicked out of them? Does the skill get coached out of them? And they basically, well, to get back to genetics, the bigger kid gets picked, and the smaller kid maybe loses interest a wee bit, who's got maybe more talent, but will catch up when he's about 19, 20 years old. And by that time it's too late. He's missed the boat a wee bit. I've always thought that there's skill there. I mean, there's guys who, obviously going back a while now, we play at the park ourselves, and you see phenomenal skill. And these guys, like, they didn't even end up playing for junior teams probably because they didn't get picked due to their size when they were kids. So I don't know. It's difficult to say that the skill's there, but yeah, we just can't develop. We just can't seem to develop them. So maybe that is a coaching problem. And we seem to we pat ourselves on the back because Jose Mourinho and Villas Boas and all that, they come over here to spend a summer learning how to coach teams at Largs. But I think I'd rather good players than being able to pat ourselves in the back because some world-class manager came across here and spent a couple of weeks here on his holidays now and again.
Yeah, I totally agree. I mean, at some point, it goes deeper than just choosing another manager, which we'll get onto in a minute. I think it goes a lot deeper than that in terms of people really have to look at the structure. Why these enthusiastic kids aren't coming through? Why is it not being tapped? And not just at Premiership level, all the way through. Like you said, massive. Throughout my childhood, anyway, you can name 101 Scottish managers and players who were top notch, who were world class. They weren't £1 million players like you're talking about now in today's market. If some of the players you can think of were up for sale today, they'd be up there with Neymars and people. Massive talents, and it's still there. and they need to start to look at it as to why that's not coming out. In terms of where do they move forward, Gordon? Have you any names up in? I mean, I'll be upfront with you, Gordon. Brian Reed's got in touch and he's asking, "Are you up for the job? Are you putting your name in the hat?"
Nah, honestly, taxi driving's it's making me too much money now, so I've decided to knock that one on the head. But no, I've actually, to be honest with you, I've not really had to think about it. I mean, I like the idea that Michael O'Neill might be able to come and punch, so have Scotland punching above the weight like he's got Northern Ireland punching above the weight. But at the same time, if I was him, it would take at least doubling my wages to walk away from my own country to go and manage, for example, England. If that was the case, you might be a bigger nation football wise, but you've got to have that emotional pull. So, I mean, obviously money talks. So, I think obviously Alec McLeish has touted himself for the job in a big way, and I think he should be told to basically get to France, for want of a better expression, since he walked away the last time as soon as Birmingham came sort of flashing their stockings at him, and Walter Smith did the same when Rangers came. So you've got to have a guy you can trust in there, and a guy who's going to try and see it through. So honestly, I've not really sat down and thought about it, to be quite honest with you. I've been pretty just hacked off about how it all turned out, and busy with other stuff, and obviously I don't know. So taking off at a tangent, our charity week went pretty well the other week there, and I've had a lot of things on my plate. We're getting Hibs tickets for the Preston Pans Club and stuff like that. So Malky Mackay, well, if you wanted a racist, sexist, homophobe in charge of your country, we've got him waiting. He's sitting there with a job in his hands at the moment, but I don't think he'll be a permanent replacement. I hope they don't wait 8 months. I think they waited a wee while before appointing Gordon Strachan the last time. I hope they don't wait a long time. I hope we know by the time we've got a friendly in March probably, and I hope we know by January at the latest who's going to be in charge of that and who's going to take the country forward.
Yeah, I mean, again, from a total outsider, Gordon, I'm big on sticking with your own, and it's got to be somebody that knows the setup. It's got to, not just the Premier League. That's got to know other leagues, and with a certain amount of pedigree about. There's a manager just come up, Gordon, to manage. He's got a lot of pedigree about him in terms of playing with international players, top ranked players. A big surprise for me coming into the Premiership. What do you think? Have Scotland missed out on the boat
there? Who's that? Sorry.
You mean Clark?
Well, Steve Clark. He's went to Kilmarnock. Yeah. I don't know. He's always been touted as having great coaching credentials, but he never really did it. Did it down south? Was it West Brom? He was the manager of. He never. Pulis turned West Brom around after, right after Clark. I don't know if there was somebody in between. Maybe that's just the stature of the club. Maybe Clark wanted to play too much football with him, and Pulis. Well, we know that Pulis isn't exactly a football purist. He just gets the results, gets teams working really hard. We might have missed the boat. That remains to be seen. If he does a good job with Kilmarnock, then he's certainly going to earn his wages down there, because there doesn't seem to be anybody that's got anything out of Kilmarnock in recent times. They seem to be the team that look like they're going to be relegation candidates for the first half of a season, and then suddenly they've whacked 10 wins in a row together, or maybe 7 or 8 wins out of 10, and get themselves out of bother every year. But they look pretty poor this year. So if Clark is definitely going to earn his cash down there.
Yeah, definitely. It's a difficult gig, that one definitely is. Well, it's a case of watch this space. I suppose the only saving grace that I can say of it is that you're not employing Fat Sam. I think if you were employing Fat Sam, then you would have to control well, at least notify air traffic control, because the number of high long balls that'll be going in, it just wouldn't seem. Would he find a striker tall enough in Scotland? Who knows? I think it was against Fat Sam right from the beginning. But like I say, fantastic footballing nation, deserves better. Needs to get its act together, sorted out at grassroots. Let's move on to what we're here for, Gordon. We'll go on to. Well, I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll swap it round. We'll do the ladies first. Sorry. Oh, Matt, unbelievable. Women. First cock up of the night, Gordon. Hearts. Oh, Matt will kill me. Hearts women. Now playing Bookham. I was going to come up for it, and I had it in my head. It was going to be 4-1. I knew that there was going to be goals. I just felt it, and didn't get up. Gutted. 7-0, Gordon. 7-0, and let me count them up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, 6 goal scorers. So it's not like there's a star player in the team who's banging them all in, and that's what it's all about. You know, basically 6 people scoring 7 goals. It was 3-0 at half time, and they went on to win comfortably, and believe that they could have got a lot more. And I was tweeting Megan before the game, who told me, Gordon, she was keeping a clean sheet, and assures me that she managed to keep her swearing down to a minimum. So I've got to believe the girl. But 7-0 at any level is fantastic.
Yeah, it is. We saw the game where it was 7-0. Unfortunately, all the way around with Glasgow City, and yeah, you've got to be you're obviously a class apart for the other side when you do that, and obviously Megan's got a clean sheet bonus, so whatever she says goes, which is typical female thing, isn't it? So sorry, I've just slagged Malky Mackay for being sexist. I could get pulled up for that, but Megan's obviously a determined character, and to win a 7-0 with 6 different scorers, that's going to be very pleasing to the management team. When they're getting spread about like that. So yeah, and what I'm looking forward to in the women's game is this final against Hibs on the 12th of November at Spartans Ground. So I'm going to look at that'll be my next time I'll get to see any of the female teams. So I'm quite looking forward to that.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I'm looking forward. We've got them on at the end of the season. We've got Ash and Megan back on, sort of doing a season review, and I'll probably setting myself up here. But I've actually got into me women's football, and I'm, like I said, I'm shooting myself in the foot here because they're going to think I'm some kind of expert. But I'm finding myself watching more and more of it. And what's pleasing me at the moment about, I know I go on about it and get along to the games and all the rest of it. But what's pleasing me is when I look at the squad, Gordon, and I see. So this is, you know, I'm trying not to come across as sexist here, but I'll just say it as I see it. There's no PC on here. This is people's sisters and daughters who love football, that are being invited in to do what they love doing, and then progressing it onto a certain standard through the coaching, and they're reaching this standard of football where they're entering into the first team at 15-year-old. I think of me at I think of me at my age, and I'm stupid now, but at 15, Gordon, unbelievable that these I can say kids because I'm the age I am. These kids are coming in, and that's only got to bode well, hasn't it, for the future? I mean, I'm talking about people like Ash and is sort of the older part of the team who can sort of nurture these people through. But it's boding well, you know, for maybe the next 2 or 3 years.
Definitely is. Like you say, we witnessed it ourselves how professional Glasgow are. Hearts, I mean, Hearts were professional. We're just not quite reached the level that Glasgow are at yet. And it's a game that now that deserves absolute respect, and it's absolutely fantastic that 15-year-old girls are getting in there and mixing it and learning their trade, and they're picking up good habits for girls like Ashley and Megan. And yeah, you're right, it can only bode well for the future. My only concern is Hearts being able to hold on to these girls as they progress. I think it would probably do us good if we could hold on to them for 3 or 4 years at least, and maybe get ourselves promoted into the top league. I think that would make a huge difference to a club like Hearts, and we'd be able to take things forward and attract a better calibre player, and then progress and hopefully start seeing some silverware. They may well, they're based at Kings Park just now. They may well end up playing games at sort of a bigger venue in the future, and yeah, see maroon and white ribbons on one of these cups one day, hopefully.
I mean, definitely, it's got to be where it's going on it, and I'm sure it is with the coaching staff that they've got in place, and the structure is all about promotion, and promotion will bring in more revenue because you higher profile, and it all sort of mixes up, doesn't it? I mean, one of the things, Gordon, that we're going to be sponsoring Jenny Smith next year, and that's one of the things you can do by getting in touch with Hearts women. By just, if you've got a company, or you can get in touch with them and see whether you can support and sponsor one of the players, and whichever player is available. But just putting something back in, it's brilliant that kids are basically being coached and given other alternatives to bloody sitting around on a street corner with a bottle of cider. It's brilliant. Get out there and do it, and encourage people. So I think the next game, Gordon, I think it's Motherwell. I think they're away. It's the when I come up it's a Sunday after the Rangers game. What date's that? What date's the Rangers game?
It's the 29th. Well, the Rangers game is 28th, so the Sunday will be the 29th.
Yeah, 29th. That's the women's next game, and I think it's away to Motherwell. But yeah, happy times, brilliant times for the women. Nice victory, builds confidence, sends them on the way to Motherwell with a spring in the step. Let's move on to the men's game, Gordon. Loved it. Absolutely loved it. I'm probably setting it up here now. There's not a lot, Gordon, I can say negative about it whatsoever. Loved it, buzzing about it. For me, Gordon, we went there even before we went down to Semen. We went there for a battle, and we set ourselves out for a battle. And I think we stood up to it. I think to every man who pulled on a Hearts jersey that day, they were up for it. They battled. It weren't the prettiest of games, but it didn't have to be to get the points. What do you think?
Nah, it never is a pretty game at Ross County. There's been plenty of goals in Ross County Hearts games, but it's sometimes found wanting for quality football. And as we've covered in the last few weeks, Craig Levine's teams, they're not going to be shy of a fight, because you don't want to go back in and face Big Craig if you've not left everything out there. You're right. Yeah, I thought we were pretty good. I thought we played good football in spells. It was that famous after you score, go to sleep moment that's cost us, that got Ross County back in the game. I thought we deserved to be winning at that time, and I think overall we did deserve to win the game. But it was a good day, and I have no complaints really about the sending off. Randall, Willie Comet had a wee word in his ear before his first booking, and the second one, it's just the way modern football is. You just leave your leg dangling there. The guy falls over it. You're going to get a yellow card for that, unfortunately. So I've no complaints about the yellow card. Maybe on another day we've rode our luck with the penalty incidents, but I'm sure that all that was happening in Ross County's box when we were putting crosses in as well. It seems to happen in every box, and it just depends on the mood of the referee whether he gives them on the day or not. Those sort of the grappling stuff. I've got to be honest with you, I prefer that Berra didn't grapple quite as much as he does. But that seems to be a habit his. I don't know if he's. Don't remember him doing it as a youngster. Maybe someone he's picked up playing in the Championship down south. But yeah, overall it was a very good performance and very encouraging. Got to single out young Henderson for his direct running in the second half. He took us up the park 20-30 yards on a couple of occasions when we might have been under a little bit of pressure. Again, Lafferty's led the line pretty well. Lovely bit of miscontrol, which led to the second goal, which fooled everybody. But yeah, all in all, great 3 points when you got there. It's not an easy place to go. I mean, I don't think even Celtic find it easy up there, and they'll drop one of their few points that they dropped last year was at Dingwall, albeit by courtesy a ridiculous dive that the referee fell for. But yeah, 3 points is excellent. We're only, I don't like to be happy with the fact that we're behind Hibs, but we've only played one home game and we're only 1 point behind Hibs. We could go above them on Saturday if we win our game, albeit they'll have a game in hand. So we could go down to Easter Road above them, which would be nice. It would certainly be make things give us something to hold on to and go for to sort of even get further ahead of them. Hopefully next Tuesday night.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, loads of positives from it, like you said. I'm liking the goalkeeper. Seems to breed confidence. So yeah, there's no sort of arguments there. It's a good foundation. Like you said, losing the goal straight after, he could have put his laces through it, could have chose Rose Ed, but shoulda, woulda, coulda. It's just the way it is. For me, it's the way that people sort of rallied after that, the way that people didn't shirk. And three young players came on and gave a good account of themselves. Got bloodied. Well, what did you reckon of that? Bloody hell.
Obviously, it was miscontrol by himself that caused the tackle to come in, but I don't know. Having seen it, I don't think there was a malicious intent about it. And although you could see how he's got hurt at that tackle, and obviously it's a lot worse than it even looked initially. So I don't agree with the guys who are calling for bookings and red cards for the tackle. It was just a very hard tackle, and it's obviously seriously hurt. Cocker, I don't know what he's had, maybe a stitch or two. Hopefully he'll be recovered in time for the weekend. Get a chance to show what he can do in front of a home crowd.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, back in our day, Gordon, we'd have had a wet sponge on it, and then that'd have been it. That magic wet sponge that you used to bring on in the bucket. Do you remember before physios and that?
Yeah, we'd be wearing proper boots, Scott. There was no way that would have got through the iron shin pads that we'd probably had on as well, because we knew the sort of cloggers we were playing against back in those days.
Well, that's it. With the Beano down our socks for shin pads. I don't know Beano, like I've never read the bloody Beano. Basically, fantastic. You know me, Gordon. I said I weren't going to come out with it. Only negative is the way that we use the big lad up front. I'd like to see us get a bit wider. I'd like to see more balls coming in, rather than him trying to play off the last defender, which he was trying to do a lot of the time. He puts a lot of work in, and I love that about him. He gets back, he's either, but really, where I want him is up front where he can do the damage. And I'd like him up there more. and I'd like more direct service to him, maybe using his head or whatever. Just get the ball to him, or he gets a knockdown. He plays in with Ismay, who again just bangs the ball away, doesn't it? I feel bad now for calling him a fat ass at the beginning of the season. But yeah, just that's my only criticism, is the way that we use the big lad up front. What did you think about that?
Yeah, well, I agree about Ismay. I said about the same thing as you at the start of the season. It looked like he'd spent his pre-season in Nando's, but Lafferty plays like he feels like he just wants to help the team. And you're right, he's all over the place. He's making tackles. He's winning balls back 30 yards for the other team's goal. If you change that to make it up, to asking him to stay up front and just stay there and wait on the ball coming to him, I don't know if that would suit him, to be honest with you. He probably wouldn't want to do that. He feels such a responsibility. The team. He is one of the older heads in the team, and he just wants to help out. And you're right, his work rate's absolutely phenomenal.
It is. I think at half time, if you throw an apron at him, he'd probably sell pies for us as well. But there comes a point when you've got to say, actually, come on, just look. I mean, look at his international record, and what he's done there, and he's hard to play against. He really is. And I think he's. I mean, we're not doing the review for the Hibs game at the moment, but I think his aggression and everything is what's needed, and I'd like to see that aggression shown in the last quarter, where he's basically, when he starts running for a big lad, when he starts running at players, they don't know whether they're coming or going, and that's the kind of force that we need up front, and I think we get more goals that way.
Yeah. For me, Lafferty's probably his goal scoring record at Hearts so far is maybe not what it should be, but his work, his making his space is it's obviously led to the second goal on Saturday there. If you see from behind the goals, he wasn't actually far behind Walker and Goncalves for the first goal either. He was right up there supporting them with an 80-yard sprint. So yeah, He's going to get himself amongst the goals at some point, Scott. He's going to. I mean, I can see us being probably being a bit more direct at Easter Road next week, and maybe asking him to stay a wee bit further. I can see him being see Hearts being quite direct on Saturday as well. It could be one of these home game being completely different from away games. We were quite direct towards him when he came on against Aberdeen, and. The second half of us against Aberdeen, well, for half an hour onwards, we were a much better side when we started to try and get the ball forward a bit quicker. So I think that, hopefully that'll be a sort of home tactic, and with Hibs being in Edinburgh and being a derby and the pace of the game, I think directness might come into it as well next week. So yeah,
definitely. I mean, in terms of sort of carrying the ball. I'll have to watch myself here because I might be becoming a Walker fan. But change his attitude. A lot more work out of the lad. I always said, I mean, I've never questioned he's a talent, and he is a massive talent. Maybe I questioned his attitude from time to time and some of his work rate. But of late, like I said, I don't know what it is. I don't know, it's obviously something that the manager's doing or saying. But he's getting the best out of him, and he's putting the work rate in, and he's finding the back of the net again. Yeah,
Jamie's been brilliant in the last few weeks, and let's hope that continues. I don't know if a derby suits him. I've never seen him particularly shine for the full match in a derby. He's obviously scored a fantastic goal at New Year a couple of years ago, and he does. He does do things. I think the best things he's done in a derby is actually from playing in a wider position and coming in and trying to take on the left backs and create. But I don't know if we'll play him like that next week. But yeah, it'd be nice if he could pull a really, really big performance at the Fire, a bit like the Rangers game last year, who won 4-1. If he was to play that against Hibs, I don't think they would have an answer there.
No, like you said, massive talent. Somebody that's needed in that midfield. It was when he wasn't on form, it was just teams were just ripping through us like hot knife through butter. It was just unbelievable. But he's like I said, work rate can't fault the lad at the moment. Maybe the second team in Glasgow coming after him turned his head a little bit. Unbelievable. Got to take me out off to him. Absolutely fantastic. As a whole, loved it. And like you say, at the end of the day, if you're getting goals and you're getting them points, that's all that people remember at the end of the day. Nobody's really bothered whether it's going route one to the big lad up front and he's nodding them away. We just need points on the board, and that's what we've been getting away from home guard. And imagine what it's going to be like when we return.
Yeah, but looking forward to Tynecastle next month. There's obviously a lot of rumours about whether the ground will be ready for the 5th of November, but it looks like seemingly the frames are in for the seating, and the seating's just sliding in now. So hopefully that is all going to plan, and we'll be playing Killie in front of a full house in a couple of weeks' time. After having beaten St Johnstone and Rangers at Murrayfield and Hibs on Easter Road as well. So
exactly. I mean, listen, if them seats don't come, just open it up as a big singing section. That's an option. It's got to be an option, isn't it? Just one big singing section under the glass. All looking good. All looking good for the next game. I'm looking forward to it when we get that. We'll be doing the review on the Sunday. I'll be back from Scotland, so myself and Gogs will be meeting up and looking forward to that game. Gogs, let's go on to the under-20s. I was looking at it on here. Do you remember Anthony McDonald?
Yeah.
We were chatting with once over, and I had a few tweets with his dad, proper like his dad, right down to earth lad, and he was just basically just saying how proud he is when his son gets picked, and standing there watching his son go out in these kind of games, because of the high level games, and how he's playing. But as the team as a whole have been playing really well, that's got to bode well for the future. I mean, I know I'm going back to youth again. These players that have basically been playing the games in the shadow of Tynecastle for years, and all of a sudden, they've got these opportunities to come in, and from a club point of view, it's got to be cheaper. It's got to be cheaper than going out and taking a gamble on, somebody from whichever country, and they've got the best interest at heart. They've grown up with hearts in the heart, no pun intended. What did you think? I mean, yesterday was a loss, but for myself, for lads getting out there, getting game time, getting experience, learning how to deal with that defeat when they've been winning, it can only bode well for the future.
Yeah, I saw the team sheets last night before the game, and as it turned out, Greg Stewart was far and away the most experienced guy in the park, and he's actually made the difference between the two teams. I think he got the winner in the second half. I mean, the guys was playing at championship level last year, and it was a big marquee signing for Aberdeen in the summer. So yeah, our young lads, they'll learn for that, and they'll be encouraged by the fact that, like I mentioned earlier, Henderson's come on at 17, Cochrane's starting games, and obviously Brandon's just signed a new contract at the weekend there. So yeah, they'll definitely be encouraged by that. And Craig Levine, you could slag him for a lot of things, but he said from day one that the youth policy was a mess when he came in, and he set about turning that round. And if it's starting to bear fruit, then that's absolutely fantastic. I'm actually watching the half-time, funny enough, on Saturday night on Alba. Just it's a credit to to Ross County, if you can give them credit, that they won the Development League last year, and they seem to have an excellent youth policy up there as well. And Craig's confident that ours will be the best in Scotland in the next couple of years. So that's absolutely brilliant. And the form's improving, because last year we were looking at pretty much every time the 20s played, we were looking at a 2 or 3 goal defeat. And it was a learning curve for them. And like say, three of them's already regulars in the first sort of regular. If they're on the bench, they're actually getting on, or they're actually playing. So that's brilliant.
It is, and it just goes to show. Take us back 3 or 4 months, Gordon. We weren't happy chappies. We were calling for time to come up on Cathro, and how quickly things can change around. And I think a lot of that, when you start to involve, which Hearts have started to do more, you start to get people in who Hearts matters to, coming in doing youth development, within schools and youth coaching, and just being involved with a club that you played at or coached at or have been involved with. It keeps it all together, and I think that kind of culture, that ethos, it breeds, doesn't it? It breeds enthusiasm in people.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I know a couple of guys who coach the Hibs youngsters, and we lost out. I know we lost out on a guy I actually know, 2 Hibs about a year and a half ago, and they were claiming at the time they were 2 or 3 years in front of Hearts as far as the youth policy goes. But I'm not so sure now. I think it's tightened up really, really quickly, and I think our developments squad gave them a bit of a doing a few weeks ago, the Hibs. So yeah, it's I'm glad to sort of shut them up a wee bit, and let's hope the big team do that next Tuesday night.
Yeah, definitely. On the old Gordon, things are on their way up. I said new stand up. The men's team are doing well. Women's team mid-table, but got a victory. But for the future, looking great, and we've got the youth in place, which it's not going to be long before they're going to be pressing for places, particularly if those youth played like those did on Saturday. How did your run go? Tell us about your run.
The Glasgow half marathon. It was quite tough going, actually. I've got a dodgy knee, but I got around there in just under 2:20. So yeah, I was absolutely delighted. And what's happened? You've probably heard from Carol yourself that we got £1,200 on our Just Giving page for Pancreatic Cancer Scotland, and we had a race day, and we kind of hoped to just get that above the £2,000 mark. But now, as it turns out, we're at £3,770 with the possibility of RBS giving us 250 for raising that much. And if you add on the gift aid, we're going to be looking at well over £4,000. So for a very successful charity raising efforts in the past few weeks. So yeah, absolutely brilliant. And it's a good Preston Pans Hearts member and Walter Fearney that obviously we lost to pancreatic cancer, and it's quite an underfunded cancer. They reckon they only get like 1% of the whole cancer research goes to pancreatic cancer, because it's such an aggressive thing, and it's the sort of cancer that once you find out you got it, the battle's almost certainly lost, because the symptoms aren't very clear until you've basically got about a month to live. So it's a hard one. They've got to get some serious research into it, and all we can do is keep trying to raise money for them. And if they can do anything about it, then God speed to them. So okay, it was a successful 2 weeks is all we can say, and thank you for everybody who contributed and who helped out, and to Graham and Andy and Carol for doing the run, which I was told I was sober when I suggested it in March, but I don't know, I'm not so sure about that when I decided that I wanted to do a half marathon and see if anybody wanted to do it with me. I think Carol's eyes just about popped out her head when I told her about she did it, and absolutely brilliant. Anyway, it was a great experience, and we're going to hopefully do more next year. I'm not sure we'll get anywhere near that figure next year, but we'll certainly try and just keep helping these guys out, and in memory of Walter.
Definitely. It's like you said, I never met the guy, but listening to the stories, and a massive influence, a massive Hearts fan, a massive influence within the fans, and God, I take me out after you know me, you know how unfit I am. And that ball came to me when we went to watch the ladies that time, and I tried to kick it, and I tell you, my brain thinks I know what it's doing, but by the time it gets down to my feet, it's gone. So I take me out off to you and all of you who did it. And yeah, everybody that got involved in it on here or elsewhere, I'll take me out off to you, and just don't have those conversations with me next year, because I'll go deaf on you, Gordon. Like I said, I don't mind throwing some money, but no, I'd probably die. Yeah, no. I'm having palpitations now thinking about it.
We'll probably just do the 10K in Glasgow next year if you want to come up.
Oh yeah, 10K, yeah. Yeah, well, we'll have a look. Oh my God. Yeah, we'll have a look at it. Have you anything else that you want to add? I think this has been quite positive, and I'm loving it.
No, absolutely. We've got 10 games in Edinburgh to look forward to in a row. So let's hope we can build on what's been a decent away start. It's probably not been absolutely outstanding. I mean, I'm disappointed that we lost at Dundee and we drew at Partick. But at the end of the day, as somebody pointed out on Twitter earlier on this month, we had the same points from 5 games away from home at the start of this season than we'd had for our last 15. So we've now surpassed that after 7 away games. And let's just go hope the home record is as decent as it was and has been over the last couple of seasons, and we could certainly build ourselves up a wee nice nest egg of points before the turn of the year, before things start to even themselves out. We start having like a home game one week and a away game the next, because it's a pretty bizarre set of fixtures obviously we've had so far, and we're going to continue to for the foreseeable future. But yeah, points in Edinburgh, that's what it's all about, and having the first league derby for 3 years next year. So yeah. Welcome back, Hibs. Hopefully we give them a very warm welcome next week back to the Premier League in derby time.
Definitely. I mean, I read on Twitter that they've chosen the strip for next year. I think it'll go down well in the Championship. So good luck with that one. Listen, Gordon, everything's been positive. Loving it. Need to keep getting behind it. Fantastic fans, selling out. Travelling away. It's a long way to Dingwall, but did it. Brilliant fans, brilliant away support. Need to get behind them at home, even if it starts to go against us. Need to carry on getting behind the side and pushing them forward. Gordon, you've been a star, absolute star. Knowledge which helps us through on these programs. But thank you so much. Please subscribe. We seem to have come to a bit of a standstill on them. It's really easy, and if you're unsure how to do it, tweet us and I'll talk you through it. I'll send you something how to subscribe. Retweet us on Twitter. Gordon does the Facebook, so I think it is on there. I don't do Facebook, but like on Facebook, and just try and get us out there and see where we're going. We're having some T-shirts done, and like I said before, so they'll be out sort of Christmas time, and we'll be giving a few away and for prizes and what have you. Keep buying into us. Thank you so much. We've been JamboFANTV, and we'll speak again soon.